Welcome to the first annual Southern Taste of Dallas Award. We welcome all of you tonight for an amazing show. Before we get started, I definitely have to make sure that we acknowledge where we came from, where we are, and where we're going. So, who other than Ricky Booker, which is an encyclopedia of knowledge, especially about the restaurant industry. I got to sit down with you because you always educate me on where we came from. So I want to highlight, for one, what you've seen in the restaurant industry and just us as Black-owned businesses and Black people.
Well, I'm not super old, but I always research my history because I love to cook. And when I was cooking as a young age growing up, I used to always go try to find someone in the history of a restaurant and what they were doing, but I never could. And the reason why, if you look at soul food, I don't know who came up with the name, but I assume the culture is a culture thing. If you pay attention to some of the history years and years ago, we may not like talking about those days and times because, it was a struggle for our ancestors, but it was real. We cooked in the big house. You know what the big house was. We cooked in the small house. So soul food was cooked by the culture of what we did, and everything that we had from pig feet, chitlins, hog maws, whatever it is, that was all the things that we utilized to cook to make sure we had meals of soul food. And even back then when they got married, they jumped the broom. These are the things that I've seen from history. They got married and jumped the broom, they ate. They had picnics, they ate. Just that's what it was. So when we came to the point in transitioning to when the family started getting nannies, it was our aunties, our grandmothers, the nanny, the lady who took care, and she was the sitter of the family. She also did the cooking. So when we got to the point where we understood we wanted to start having our own restaurants and being able to go out and eat, we couldn't go and eat at restaurants. We would get thrown in jail. I want you to tell me where we are at now and what have you done for some of the Black-owned restaurants here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area?
Well, for the restaurants here in Dallas-Fort Worth, I started in 2020 another Dallas, Texas check where I didn't realize exactly what I was doing when I was going and reviewing whether it was DoorDash or whether it was person, reviewing their food and letting people know how amazing experience I had. My very first video, Sweet Georgia Brown, if it didn't have potholes in the parking lot, I don't want it. And that video went so viral. So knowing that it was a platform that I had to be able to represent these businesses in the city, which has been something that I've been doing since 2016 when I would do Let's Talk Dallas to highlight the positive businesses in the city. So now being able to put all of this together, it's amazing to see how I'm able to see mentors all in this room, because seeing restaurant owners put it all on the line. This is the only industry that I've seen, and no matter, this is plan A, plan B, plan C. This is not, something that you can just stop and start over. This is something that when you learn how to cook and you get a recipe from your family, you keep going, and this is it. So my heart just goes out to everybody in the room, and I really wish the best for all of the nominees, because everybody, to me, is a winner, but we know
it's the people's choice, and that's the way you win, the people's choice. And the last thing before we get the show on the road is to tell you, not only this is a award show, this also is a networking system for you to meet one another, share notes and compare notes, and also meet some of the sponsors that's in the room tonight as well. So tonight is your night to network and get some information to further your future and career. Because one thing I know we can do, and we will do, is have great food. That hadn't changed since slavery, since the 60s, since the 70s, to where we're at now. The food is the same. We have to learn to get along with one another, and what God has for you in store can't change if you're giving somebody some mentorship about how to be successful in their business, because God has in store Breakfast Brothers to do what we do. So I have no problem interviewing people and giving people advice, because it won't change if you're passing it forward. Good luck to all the nominees tonight. Let's have a successful night.